Hey everybody, today we'll be making this expanding and collapsing Torah scroll out of origami, and it comes from my book, Jewish Holiday Origami. You can see a picture of it on the cover here. It's an action model, and you'll need 2 sheets of origami paper. Origami paper, sometimes called kami, is usually colored on one side and white on the other. And you'll do exactly the same with both sheets of paper up until a point, and then I'll show you how to make them different so that they form the 2 pieces. So to begin, turn the paper to the white side, and we're going to make a little crease in the middle just to get a mark there. We're not going to crease all the way across. So first we line up the edges and the corners and make a little pinch mark right at the bottom, just in the middle. Then open it back up again and rotate it, and do it again from the other 2 sides. Pinch and open. So now we've got a little plus sign in the middle. Now we're going to take the bottom edge and fold it to that crease mark or that pinch mark. Make sure you line up the edges along the sides before you make your crease. And the best way to make a crease is to start from the center and work your way toward the outside edge. Okay, now we're going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Bring the bottom edge to that crease mark. Line up the edges first. Start in the center, then work your way out toward the outside. We also call that a cupfold in origami. Now open those 2 flaps, and we're going to turn it over to the colored side. And notice, rather than having the creases going left and right, now the creases are going to be going up and down. So we rotated the paper. Notice we still have that little plus sign in the middle, and now we're going to take the bottom edge and bring that to that plus sign. Again, lining up the edges on the outside. Next, we're going to turn the model back over to the other side and put in these 2 flaps again. No new creases, just fold them over. 1 and 2. So now you've got a partially colored and partially white model on top and bottom. Notice that you can put your finger in this little pocket here. That's what we're going to do next. Put your finger in this pocket and spread the flap open until it becomes a triangle shape. And if you notice this little crease here, this crease will need to line up with this edge before you actually flatten it. So make sure that the crease lines up with this edge. And now very carefully, and if you need to make a little adjustment because you didn't line it up properly like I just did, go ahead and make that adjustment and then flatten it. Now do the same thing on this bottom flap. Again, put your finger in the pocket, lift it up and spread it apart. Line up the crease along the edge here. Line up the edges, make sure the corner is nice and sharp down here. And once everything is in place, you can go and crease. So now it almost looks like a little house with a white roof. Now we're going to turn the model to the other side. And this is going to be 2 squash folds with a valley fold. This is called a valley fold when you make a little valley in the paper. So we're going to take this edge here, this lower edge, and bring it to the top edge here. Now the model is not going to want to lay flat at this point. You see these corners, they puff up? We're going to let them do that. And we start to crease from the center outward. And we let our fingers go into those pockets. Now I'm going to rotate the model so you can see it better here. And here's this little triangular pocket. Now we're just going to, once you've put your finger in as far as it can go, we're going to squash that flap completely. And it's an odd shaped, almost like a square, but it's a little off. We're going to do the same thing now with the other flap here in this corner. Put your finger in as far as you go till you reach the end, the point. Now flatten it. And when you flatten it, you want to line it up right in the center. And then from the tip down to the outside, that's where you want to flatten. So now these are exactly the same. The next step is take this point and fold it back up this direction, and the crease is going to start from this point to this point of this diamond, almost diamond shape. So you just start lifting the flap, and there's only so far you can go before the paper stops you from going any further. And once you've got that in the right place, go ahead and flatten it. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Lift up this little flap and gently smooth it out until the creases are in the right place. And then go ahead and flatten. So now we've got our two pieces. I'll wait till you make another one exactly the same. You can go ahead and pause this video. But I'm going to go ahead now and show you how to make the two different ones and then attach them together. So turning one of our models to the opposite side where you can see the white and the color, take the bottom edge and bring it to the bottom of the white area and make a little pinch mark, just like that. Again, we don't want to crease all the way across. Open it back up again and bring the bottom edge to the pinch mark you just made and make another pinch mark. Okay. Boom, just like that. Okay. What we wanted was this reference point. Now we're going to take this flap here, the single layer, and starting from the upper right corner to this pinch mark, we're going to fold that flap diagonally. You can use your finger there to kind of stop it from going any further, just like that. And we do the same thing on the bottom. Here's where the pinch mark is. And smooth it out. Make sure that they end up in the same spot. Even. And crease it. Now we're done with that piece. Let's take the other piece, turn it to the other side, and we're going to do the same thing we did before. Take the bottom edge to the bottom of the white area and make a little pinch mark. And unfold. And do it again. The bottom edge to that pinch mark. And unfold. So now we've got exactly the same pinch marks as on the previous piece, but this time we're going to take the flap, and instead of folding it up like this, we're going to tuck it under in the same location. So before it was a valley fold, now in origami we call this, when we fold it behind, a mountain fold. So we're going to tuck this under, and starting at that pinch mark, roll it under, and getting it right up to that corner, and crease it well. Do the same thing with the bottom one. Lift it up a bit, curl it inside, under, and curl it till it gets to the corner and no further. And ideally you want them to match exactly here. And now the folding is done. We're all done. Now we can attach the two pieces. So what those flaps inside do, they act as a stop so that when you pull this piece across, it doesn't go any further. It won't pull out all the way. So let's go ahead and open this and insert this piece here and push it in as far as it can go. Now if we turn it to the other side, we start to pull gently. It won't go any further than this because those two flaps stop each other. Push it in and pull it out again. There's your model. I hope you enjoyed it.